What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another reaction. In today's video, we are continuing the series that started off with Begin by JunJi. I really enjoyed that song, the actual concept, the subject matter, the way it was done so beautifully and tastefully, and just the elegance of the way they handled the subject matter while still creating an interpretation that could be applied to other things besides someone being into someone else of the same gender. It could apply to so many other things that give you the same type of pressure in a way to not do what you want to do, or being in your own type of mental prison, or of thinking that something that you are doing is kind of wrong, when in reality there's nothing wrong with doing what you want to do, who you want to be with, and what you want to pursue. So not even thinking about like what parents may think, religion, the way the rules were kind of set. It really created a wonderful image that applies to so many more things rather than just handling a relationship. And that was really the beauty of the music video, as well as like the actual subject matter. Obviously, was done in a very almost like a wholesome way, if that makes any sense. It was truly a beautiful music video, and I was very surprised. And Yu Zhang's vocals, as well as the overall instrumental, the synths, the retro vibes and everything, it was quite warm and inviting, much like Yu Zhang's character is kind of warm and inviting in that music video, as far as with the origami pieces and what it meant, and being so patient and everything. So I am very excited to get back into this series and check out KB's Be Free. And after that, we'll be checking out JunJi Be Mine. And I believe that that is the trilogy and that is the whole series. Now, before we get started, KB, under the video, there's actually a message. And there was a message as well in the Yujong music video that I didn't read out loud, that I only checked out after recording the reaction, but now we might as well give it a shot. I couldn't confess because I didn't want to get hurt. The moments of hesitations, let's talk, even if we're hurt. Even though it's broken and painful, let's face it, together. That quote right there, much like the first music video, applies to more, so much more than just a relationship. And it's actually quite, quite beautiful. Let's get into it. Starting right off, where so yeah, I kind of figured that he was probably a little bit intoxicated or whatever. Okay, this is a little bit different. Interesting. Oh my god.
One more time could make it right. Yeah, you think I'm fine. So many city lights. Oops, I got no alibi. 너의 말투는 it's okay. 없어 날 시간에 baby just coming. 고집을 부리고 싶어져 난 자꾸 내 마음을 점하지 마. I feel you, you're my planet. Okay, 하지 마 baby, it is all. 달려가고 싶어져.
Okay. Ooh, damn, this sounds. This break is beautiful.
If you can't get it, 오늘은 걱정 마. 하고 싶은 말들이 많아, baby. When I see in your eyes, I just wanna tell you all. Every time I feel your heart, 따지지 않았어, hey. When I see in your eyes, 천천히, baby. I like your touch, blue. 난 어디에, just wanna taste your lips.
This sounds oh, damn. This puts the video at a totally different perspective now because it makes it feel like it's Yujong the one who's kind of closed off, whereas KB knows exactly what he wants, and who he is, and he can take charge, whereas Yujong is very patient, but he's patient because he is perhaps a little bit intimidated because he doesn't really. It's very interesting because I felt like he was the one who's inviting him constantly, and he showed a lot of patience and he showed himself. But the thing that this music video makes me realize that every time Yu Zhang does something to show his real self, he's doing it in private. He's being free, but only in private. The second somebody pops up, every scene that we see Yu Zhang doing something extravagant, just being himself, really, he's by himself. Then KB pops up and it's like, oh shit, I gotta be formal, which makes sense because it's kind of like your job in a way. He's at work and everything, but still, in this music video, the interesting part is Yujong, to be honest, seems like even though he is kind of he kind of knows who he is, he never really got to be with someone, or maybe it's just his personality. Because as I'm going through some of the frames from this music video, there are a couple of instances where Yujong is very closed off, especially towards the end with the blanket constantly covering himself, whereas KB shows himself right off the bat as he looking through the window with the shirt, with that hairstyle. I mean, you have to have a special kind of confidence to be able to pull that off and be as majestic as he is in this music video and the previous one as well. But he has accepted himself, and he, in this music video and with some of the lyrics, he really doesn't shy away from it. And in the scene where he catches Yujong dancing, he just comes in because some of the lyrics even say something about the pre-chorus makes me want to run towards you to love. He also is talking about how he makes him want to be all stubborn as he literally catches Yujong dancing and just being himself. And then KB, as he catches him, he just decides to go with it to finally show him that he accepts him and that he likes him as well as Yujong clearly liked him. Which is very interesting because the first music video, it seemed like KB was a little bit closed off, but this music video really flips it around very, very nicely. And also, the song sounds phenomenal. KB's vocals, I like how both of these songs are so different. This song portrays a lot of confidence, but at the same time, it's still warm and inviting, but for different reasons. Here, he shows a little bit of even audacity. He shows you himself as someone who is very open, but also someone who has done this before. It's not his first relationship, so to speak. Whereas with Yujong, some of the visuals in this music video, it makes you feel like he's never been with someone. It seems like he never even drank alcohol, as he smells the bottle and the whiskey just makes him kind of like raise his head up, as it's kind of like it's not his thing. It's almost as if he's never really tried it before, or he just doesn't like it perhaps, but it's the one thing that both of them kind of needed, or Yujong more so needed to loosen up. Even the scene where KB takes off his shoe, Yujong is immediately kind of closing off. It's almost like there's something in the back of his head, like despite the fact that he's open, he's only open in private. And when someone finally kind of wants him for who he is, he's kind of wondering, is this the right move? Am I doing the correct thing? Should I be there with this person, or should I just get away? As he's constantly in this music video closed off, whereas KB is very much, very confident and very much open to the world. He's an open book, whereas Yuzhang, the title of the book says one thing, but at the same time, the book is very much closed because he doesn't want to show himself. Whenever somebody's watching, he reverts back to the shy person that he is. And literally, the lyrics as I pause this video say, "I get surprised each time, baby," which is, this is definitely surprising. I did not expect the sass. The second this music video started, you could feel that something is a little bit different, and the way that they just flipped the script on you, where it seemed like KB was the one who didn't want to show his emotions. In reality, it was Yuzhang who was just kind of like almost like showing patience with the origami and everything, as we talked about in the previous reaction, but also like if he waited any longer and KB wasn't who he was, eventually KB would have just left, and Yuzhang would have possibly regretted not going after him and not showing him any feelings and being like, "Hey, do you want to hang out perhaps and at least talk a little bit?" It was KB needing to catch Yuzhang dancing and just being himself, and then they kind of started getting into this groove. But yet Yuzhang still needed the alcohol, and then it still showed off a feeling that Yuzhang is still very uncomfortable, but he still wants it. But it was almost like a moral dilemma in his head, like, should I do it or not? I'm scared. At the same time, I like this person, and he clearly likes me, as some of these lyrics, I mean, are very apparent of it. Even like the lyrics say, "I like your tight blue jean, but also summer of freedom. Like, just be free, be yourself." The quote at the beginning of the video in the description, "I couldn't confess because I didn't want to get hurt. The moments of hesitation. Let's talk, even if we're hurt, even though it's broken and painful, let's face it together." It's almost like KB is like right there as he catches him dancing, as Yuzhang kind of wants to express some type of feelings, but he doesn't want to get hurt. So it kind of took KB to finally make that first step, which is quite beautiful. And this song, Begin, was very much a vibe and a mood. This one is possibly slightly bit more so. Maybe it's because of like the sassiness, and KB's vocals are a little bit different, whereas Yuzhang was more innocent and naive and inviting and warm, whereas KB is a little bit different. There's a little bit more bass in his voice. There's a little bit more sass, and this song is ever so slightly a little bit more addicting, and the guitar there, is absolutely beautiful. This was quite the surprise. So let's get into what I assume is the final, or at least for now, is the final music video of this little series with JunJi, Be Mine. And if I mispronounced his name, let me know in the comments. But before we get started, I'm guessing there's a little something extra to read in the description. So let's check this out. "Can I ruin you? I'll just go where my hands take me." Well, damn. It seems like this song is going to be even more sassy than KB, because let's get into it. So in this storyline, we see Yuzhang, who's doing his job. Obviously, KB and JunJi are just friends in the storyline, because for a second there it seemed like a prequel of sorts, and they're on a date. but his stare at this guy is very obvious, so maybe not.
You let my spirit free 허락해 날
Whoa.
마음대로 너를 조각해도 너 밤이 다 알아 너 두려움을 던져 we be mine 이 두근거림도
Oh, damn.
아직까지 의미 없을 나지만 지금 너와 나에게 절각의 hurry 나를 겨누면 눈이 서두르지 버리 yeah. 벽에서 널 꺼내 당장 내게 다가도 baby mine 넌 나의 두 손에
Oh my god.
태연하게 너를 만들어줄게 서서히 드러나는 너의 silhouette 널 만져도 돼 내 손 가는 대로 할래 yeah. Baby be mine baby be mine
Well, his voice is very gentle.
Take me away 우리 흐르고 원인을 다시 지우고 천천히 스며들어 있던 나 낯선 느낌을 사라지고 like What do you thought? What do you hurry? 지금부터 생각은 비워 어차피 빗어질걸 한숨을 토해내 숨죽인 넌 거짓말 그대와 나 얽혀든 시선 속에 stay Baby be mine 넌 나의 두 손에 태연하게 너를 만들어줄게 서서히 드러나는 너의 silhouette 널 만져도 돼 내 손 가는 대로 할래 yeah.
Damn. That's a beautiful visual there.
Let me get inside. Baby, we be mine. 나의 두 손에 태연하게 너를 만들어줄게. 서서히 드러나는 너의 silhouette. 널 멈춰도 돼. 내 손 가는 대로 할래. Yeah. 흐르지 않긴 그 속에서 널 밝힌 아슬아슬한 순간을 얘기하기 바라. 멈춰도 돼. We'll be mine. 완벽하지 않아도 돼.
Oh, I thought it was about to be over. Whoa. It seemed like he was on the phone and he got some possibly bad news that maybe perhaps he needed to go away to move or something. And it seemed like this was like the breakup talk or something. And maybe he's about to kiss him goodbye perhaps. The visuals though were very almost wholesome and very cute and adorable. Some of the visuals, especially, oh my god, the scene where the long shot with them, with his partner being in the phone booth as JunJi is about to come towards him before they close up. There's actually like this beautiful sunset, so it's the sunset on our relationship perhaps. So maybe he is indeed kind of kissing him goodbye because he has to go. Because otherwise, the phone scene, the phone booth, it wouldn't make any sense. Plus, he's dancing. There's like blue lights, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's blue lights to represent almost like sadness as he's kind of screaming by that same phone booth. Again, shot beautifully. JunJi's voice is absolutely fantastic. It's so gentle. If he sounded if he sounded differently, all of these lyrics would come off very arrogantly and almost like smug in a way, like being very like a hotshot. But for some reason his voice just makes it feel very soothing, almost like he's kind of like writing a love letter to his partner as far as telling him that he wants him. Some of these lyrics in correlation with some of these visuals is absolutely perfection, to be honest. From him saying, "You let my spirit free," and by the way, the love interest, as far as I understand, his name is Rie, or Rie, Rie. I'm sorry if I'm butchering their names, obviously, but literally, "You let my spirit free, allow me to sculpt you however I want." As literally when he sees him, it's like everything just stops, and the second Rie or I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. The second he leaves, he goes after him and he tries to perhaps, get his number or kind of get to know him and let's hang out sometime. He tells him something that makes him want to laugh, and yet he breaks into like almost like this victory celebration in a way. He was so consumed by this person, and this person showed the same interest in him, which made his entire world literally let his spirit free, much like these lyrics go. Inspire me, I already know all about you. Let go of the fear and will be mine. This excitement and the hands that are about to reach everything. Unfortunately, they're like spilled water. Just focus on you and me now, which is also very interesting. So it spills everywhere, perhaps. I'm not really sure where to take this, because he says, unfortunately. I'm not really sure actually now that I think about it, because we do see something that leads to an ending perhaps with this relationship, with the phone booth and everything. The outcome of this relationship is like spilled water in a way, because he got the news on the phone or something that he needs to go away perhaps. He puts his head down in that scene and there's a sunset, almost like the sunset on this relationship. And also him saying, let me get inside, which could be interpreted in a couple of ways, obviously, but also in an emotional type of way, as well as a literal way, but an emotional type of way. Let me be a part of you. Let us be together, as they share all of these wholesome moments together throughout this music video. JunJi's vocals are absolutely fantastic. His delivery is wonderful. The actual instrumental, all three of these songs are absolutely spectacular. I feel like KB's Be Free is the most that I can vibe with, as far as, like, I don't know. I feel like the one that has the most replay value perhaps might be Free, but at the same time, again, just has like this really inviting vibe and mood about it that makes you want to listen to that song again and again. And those synths are quite something. It's just plus Yuzhang's vocals. I feel like all three of these songs are absolutely wonderful. So it's hard to pick one, but the lyrics here throughout the free music videos, they definitely kind of grow more and more in terms of just showing your kind of true intentions. And here we have two people who are open and showing it to the world, and not afraid. So we're not really thinking too much about the fact that Yuzhang is a little bit closed off. He's afraid of showing himself. KB is the opposite. And even the outro, the lyrics are quite nice. Show me boundlessly intertwined, and what'll shed light on you from there is the close and risky moment. Like the risk of this relationship, perhaps. I want you to wake me up, as far as wanting to see you in the morning after and just being with you in this relationship. Can I ruin you? So maybe perhaps the ending could indicate that this is the end of the relationship, especially the sunset visual with him being behind the glass of the phone booth, whereas JunJi is on the outside, and then he's literally seems very emotional in the next scene, which seems to be like have all this blue light around it. The phone booth is open, but there's no one there. So it's like it's perhaps the end. And I'm kind of am about 85% sure that in the end he kisses him goodbye, so to speak. So maybe that's why the lyrics say, can I ruin you and can you be mine? Because in the end he cannot be his. Which is kind of sad and a little bit tragic, obviously. It's a relationship that, perhaps had all of the potential, and it's almost like the one who got away in a way, which puts a very sad spin on this music video. But the wholesome moments were really, really nice. The song was just wonderful. It really was. Vocally, all three of these guys so far have been absolutely phenomenal, and yet so different one from another. It was quite beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. If I made any sense, let me know in the comment section below. If you disagree, obviously, let me know what you think is the interpretation of some of these visuals, your theories and whatnot. Feel free to drop some knowledge, and yeah, subscribe to the channel, like this video, check out the Patreon if you want to see some exclusive reactions and also support this channel. And I will catch you all in the next one.